Hello, I'm Millcreek Supervisor John Groh. During the past 3 years as a supervisor, I've had the opportunity to interview some important people to give you, the viewing public, a better sense of what is going on in Millcreek and all points beyond. Today, my very special guest is a person that has been an integral part of this government access channel for the past 10 years. She wears many different hats in her role in the Public Services Department, and we hope to talk about each one of them during this broadcast. The most interesting part to all of this is that she has interviewed nearly everyone, but has never been interviewed herself. With that said, I give you Judy Zelina. Judy, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you, John Groh.
It's been a long time coming.
Yes, it has been, and I have to tell you, he's been trying to interview me for, 3 years now?
3 years, yes. I've been working on you.
And I finally exhausted all of my excuses.
Right, and I've tried many things. I've tried phone calls, emails. I even withheld her paycheck one week there, and I think that was the catalyst for getting her on the TV program today. So.
Well, it's different being on the other side of the desk.
Oh, I'm sure it is there, and it's different for me because I mean, and I mean this in all sincerity, is that you are very integral in what we do as far as providing information to the public.
Well, thank you.
The programs that you and Jessica provide here, and of course you're very involved in every one of them, whether you're producing it or doing the interviews. And of course we had our late friend Phil Fatika. Everybody had an involvement in this here.
Yes,
and,
we did.
Of course, you were responsible for all of that. So.
Well,
all that good stuff there.
All that good stuff.
So,
I enjoyed, and the Public Service Department, John, as you know, really encompasses more than just the Millcreek Government Channel.
Sure.
It's one of the very fun parts of the job.
Yeah, it is.
Along with everything else, too. I really enjoy what I do.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So it's just a small little snippet.
Right. Well, you know, I mentioned at the beginning of the show that she wears many different hats. And so what I'd like you to do is just, of course, I don't have that stack of hats available, but metaphorically speaking, we're going to have a stack of hats right here. And we're going to be peeling these things off one at a time because there's something that, public needs to know. I mean, yes, you see her on TV a lot here with our interview programs, but the fact is there's much more that Judy is involved in. This is just a very small portion of it here. It's probably less than 10%, I think, of everything else that you do. So
probably.
We will go over those things, try to touch on them, not to belabor each one of them, but just, we have a half an hour to get a show done here, and I think we can try to get it done. If not, we'll go into part 2. How does that sound?
That sounds
okay.
In 3 years, part 2, 3 years.
Okay, moving on. Hey, let's talk about the Public Services Department in general. Just what all programs do you have there in the Public Services?
First off, I want to let our viewers know that this department was implemented by the supervisors over 25 years ago.
Yes.
The reason being is they felt that there was a need to have a central office or a person that would be able to help different residents with different government programs.
Right.
And this is how this all started. Okay. Roseanne Eckerson was the first Director of Public Services.
That is right, yes.
And at that time, it looked into more of our senior services. The Public Service Department today is really a department for it encompasses all of your residents. And we do focus on some senior programs also. Right.
Yeah, and of course, I think we know the demographics. Millcreek goes at about 18 to 20% of our population are seniors, 55 and older, I believe, and that classifies as a senior, I believe. So
right.
I know I'm in that group, so I won't ask you about yours, but anyway.
Oh, everyone knows I'm there. I'm there.
But yeah, so it's not only the seniors that we're providing the services for. There's everything else.
Exactly. Exactly.
And like recycling. Let's talk about recycling for a second. I know that you oversee the recycling department.
That's right. I'm also the manager of the recycling department, and I am so fortunate, as you well know, to be able to work with Jessica James Stutzman.
Oh yes, oh yes.
She is our little Energizer bunny.
Yes, she is. We know that.
And she gets me looped into more events and programs.
Right.
But the program started with just recycling in Millcreek. We have seen so many exciting things happening in our recycling department. We have seen the birth of the Mill Fair Compost and Recycling Center. Right. We are held in the highest regard in the state.
Statewide, yes, I'm aware of that.
In fact, Jessica and I have even gone to Professional Recyclers of Pennsylvania, their conferences, and we've been speakers, asked to speak on our Mill Fair Compost Center. And there are many municipalities that want to start something like this. So they will actually come to us and say, how did you do it? What makes it work? What didn't work?
So you're helping mentor other municipalities
Yes.
in this very same project.
Right, and I'm very proud of Millfair. It's become, pretty much sustainable. It's a way to keep brush and leaves out of the landfill,
Okay.
and it just benefits. It's true composting and recycling.
Right. In fact, speaking of that, of course, at the time of this taping right here, we're January the 12th is the date, and of course on January 14th, Saturday, we have our annual Christmas tree recycle there, and that's always a nice event where we bring in the live, formerly used Christmas trees, and they get ground up and turned into mulch, and people hopefully will donate money to that.
And what we do, we ask for donation,
Yes.
and the donation goes to the Emmaus Soup Kitchen.
Right.
And we're always very proud to be able to give
that big check.
Right,
Yes.
Sister Mary Miller, a nice big check. People are very generous.
Right.
I will tell you, there are some times that it's cold. It's cold.
Yes.
We are out there in the
2 years
snow.
ago, it was like 10, wasn't it?
Oh, it was below zero.
Below zero with the wind
we were
chill.
out there.
Right.
But Jessica, again, is wonderful at this. And she will give me those little hand warmers for my feet. I put them in my boots, in my hands, and in my elbows and everything else.
Yes. Yeah, it's. And I've been out there. Of course, my wife and I, we have real Christmas trees. I think many people here in Millcreek Township do. Actually,
Right.
everywhere, not just Millcreek. And this is open to everybody, not just Millcreek residents.
It's all Erie
anybody,
County.
Yeah, anybody
all
that wants to
Erie
get
County.
rid of a Christmas tree, and
Right.
that's just one small portion. That's just one activity during the entire year. And of course, that's a big event there too.
That's right.
So,
We also have, Jessica works very hard too on our special collection. It is, I believe it's the second Saturday in May of every year. Second or third, I have to look at the calendar.
Right.
And what it is, it's right held out at Millfair, and this is where you can get rid of, we have shredding events, you can get rid of tires, white goods,
Right.
anything like that.
yeah, like
It's-
car batteries, can you get rid of that?
car
Or
batteries,
how about waste
propane
oil?
tanks.
How about waste oil? Say you have engine oil, say you do your own oil changes. Can you get rid of oil there, or do you have to do something else with that?
That, we have a place set up right right in the garage,
Okay.
right down Coffee.
The Township garage,
And
yes.
right past the municipal building to the left, we actually have an oil and antifreeze where you can drop that
You
off.
drop it off in there too.
Another thing you can do if you don't want to carry it and bring it there, we also have the At Your Door program. This is a program I'm very proud of.
Yes.
Because our last contract with Waste Management, I proposed this to the supervisors because I knew the time was coming where electronics and so forth was not going to be collected
Right.
through Waste Management. So this program for all Millcreek residents, in fact, Millcreek was the first one to implement the At Your Door program.
Yes, and I know it was last year, 2 years ago, got rid of a TV that, and I'll tell you, just getting it outside was the challenge. I thought I threw my back out doing it. I didn't really, but it was that heavy. Of course, we know the new TVs, they're flat screen, they're very light. One person can handle them. It took two of us to get it outside on the porch. And that's all I had to do was get it out there, out to the, right out to where my driveway starts at the house, and they picked it up from there. I didn't have to do anything else.
It's a matter of a phone call,
Yeah.
set up a date, they will come pick up any electronics or any household hazardous waste, and it is, Jessica and I have been actually to the facility where this is taken to, just to make sure that it is being recycled properly, and it is.
Right.
We'd
Yeah.
like
and-
to know where everything's going.
Exactly. We want to be responsible as residents and citizens, make sure that whatever we're not going to use anymore, something that may have outlived its purpose, that we dispose of it in the correct manner. And so Judy in the recycling department has been responsible, helping us get these programs together. And as you said, this is one of the first in Pennsylvania to get this. And so that's something we can be very proud of. I can say this, when I go to the PSATS conference every year, and that's the Pennsylvania State Association of Township Supervisors. I go to, they have different vendors there and different state agencies. The people over there at PROP, and I'll say, I'm with Millcreek Township. Oh, yes, we know Judy Zelina and Jessica Stutzman. Oh, yes, oh, yeah. So, you guys have statewide notoriety, and it's a good notoriety, too, of course. So that's something that we're very proud of it as far as the programs that Millcreek is offering for our residents, and that's just one small portion of what we have. So I think we've talked a lot about that. How about other programs that we have here at the Township?
What we also have, we also are partnering with LifeWorks. And
Yes.
LifeWorks has some wonderful programs. They're
Okay.
bringing them right to the Millcreek Municipal Building.
Yes.
So it's benefiting residents in our area, not just Millcreek residents, it's benefiting Summit, Fairview, even some of the city of Erie, because it's just easier for them to get to our Millcreek Municipal Building. Some of the programs are, we have monthly healthcare screenings
Okay.
every month, and we have the flu shots. We're a flu shot administration site.
Yes.
We have 3 times flu shots set up 3 times from September through the end of the year.
Okay.
They're also doing workshops here at the Millcreek Municipal Building. One is a chronic disease management 6-week workshop.
Okay.
They do diabetes management workshops. Another thing, they do smoking cessation classes. And once a month, they have LECOM has a series called Ask the Experts, where there is either a doctor or an expert in a field. And the field varies, the subject matter, but they're always very interesting and well attended.
Good.
So that's, again, that's not just senior programs. These are programs that are going to benefit many of our residents.
So these are all quality of life matters that so far that we've been talking about here as far as the township, in the fact of being responsible with what we do with the earth, taking care of that. Not to sound like I'm out there, but the fact is that we have the ways of handling those disposable items. Now we're talking about health. So this is just another great program that Millcreek is part of, and of course you oversee that with the LifeWorks.
Another thing
coordination.
I would like to talk about a little bit is a program that I feel is probably one of the most popular programs with our senior population and it's a state program. We're
Okay.
very fortunate. Pennsylvania has a property tax or rent rebate program.
Oh yes.
And of course there are qualifications. There are personal qualifications and there are financial qualifications.
Okay.
And this is funding that comes to us from the Pennsylvania Lottery. John, you remember when the lottery was implemented in Pennsylvania?
Yes, yes.
They said, yes, we'll implement a lottery, but it is going to benefit older Pennsylvanians.
And that's been part of their logo. It
Exactly.
benefits senior citizens. Yeah.
This is one of the programs. It is a program. It's not, it's not like assistance or anything like that. It's a program based on your property taxes, your rent, and your income, and it's there for you. Many people don't know it's there. If they wanted to ask a little bit more about it, I asked them to please give me a call.
Okay.
We can go over the numbers on the different qualifications and see if they do qualify, because quite honestly, I love giving money back for people. I love getting money back.
And as
for them.
supervisors, we're notorious for taking it away from them,
Well,
right?
there you go. That's where I step
in. So somebody's making the township look good. Okay.
So, but again, I guess I don't realize that people don't know that this program is out there because I talk so much about it. And if I also tell people when I have different speaking engagements, I go to senior fairs and
That's
I go
correct,
to different
yes.
community
And I've been to a few of them
events.
with you, yes.
That's right.
Yeah.
And I tell people, if you're not eligible for this program, what I would like is tell a neighbor, someone you think might be eligible for it or might benefit from it. Help me get the word out.
That's right. And here's one of the things you're mentioning, the senior fairs that we're part of. And of course, you're always at these things. You're our ambassador, our delegate, whatever. And it's just, and I found it, and I don't want to say amazing, but it was just inspiring, and I just had a really good feeling. The first one I went to was one that Ryan Bizzaro holds down to Tom Bridge Center.
Tom Bridge Center.
And the amount of people that just love Judy. It's just amazing. And it's like, wow, there's a person that is really loved by the public, and she does a very good job at what she's doing out there. And people find you very approachable, and it's just amazing there. And it's nice. It's good to have people like that working at the
Well,
township.
it's a two-way street because
Yeah.
I really like the people. I really love what I do.
Yes.
I am
It
so
shows. It
fortunate
shows.
to be able to represent Millcreek Township because I'm very proud of our township.
Sure.
You know, I raised my family here.
Yeah.
My children went through the schools. I just, you know.
So did you, right?
Yes, I did.
Yes,
Yes,
yeah.
I did. Many years ago.
Well, we won't talk about that.
Well,
there.
that's okay. Another thing I do want to talk about before our time runs out too is not only do we have the Millcreek Government Channel, like you and I are doing right now to get
Right.
the word out to everybody,
Yes.
but we also have the In Millcreek magazine.
That is correct, yes. Yes.
And that was another thing that I was approached on, and I went and I did my begging to the supervisors and saying that I really thought that this was a great avenue to get the word out to our residents, to let people know what's happening right at Millcreek Township.
Sure.
And you guys were all on board, 100%.
Yeah, it has been a very useful and well-written publication. It gives out the information. Of course, there's great articles in there too, submitted by residents. Judy and Jessica have written articles. I've written a couple myself. In fact, I'm writing one right now for our next publication coming up. And you know, it is just a very good magazine. I get a lot of comments about it, positive comments. So that is something we really need to keep going and keep innovating on that and putting more articles in it.
Well, what I like to get out is I like to get out the good stuff that we do.
Okay,
And we do so much good for the
Yes, we
community in
do.
Millcreek Township.
Yes, we do.
You know, so that's why, like Jessica and myself, we find different subject matter, and from there we'll help write the article, set up a template, and send it to In Millcreek magazine. So.
Right. Yeah. Now let's see. There's one other thing here that I know I don't say we're running out of time because we're not yet. But one of the things I'd also want to talk about is the 55 Alive programs, the AARP driver courses.
That's right.
Yeah.
We also partner with AARP on a couple different programs.
Right.
The driver safety program is we do help. They are held at the municipal building. Throughout the year, there are 2 different classes. If you have never taken a driver safety course, you'd have to go 8 hours, 2 days. If you have, you renew it every 3 years, and it's only 4 hours.
Okay.
So the best part is that it helps reduce your auto insurance.
Okay.
And again, I'm all for money in your pocket.
Yes. Yes.
Yes, we have that.
We all want to save money one way or another, and if
Right.
it takes us, requires us to do something, then that's worth doing. Then.
Another program AARP has, and I am so pleased that we're able to be a site for this. And again, I'm thanking the Millcreek supervisors because they allow our assembly room and allow me to schedule these events to be held at the Millcreek Municipal Building. We have the free income tax preparation.
Oh, yes, that's going to be coming up here soon.
Yes, it is.
It's that time of
Yes, it
year
is. I'm
again.
taking appointments. And we have that at 2 times a week, Mondays and Fridays, that are in the assembly room. It's at no charge. It's
Right.
free income tax preparation. We have great preparers. Our preparers are all volunteers, but they're also probably retired accountants or different
So
businessmen.
our hats go off to them for volunteering to help people out with their taxes.
Exactly.
You know, because I'm sure it can be intimidating, you know, when you've got different formulas and stuff. I know I have a hard time figuring out my taxes. I pay them, but I just have a hard time figuring them out, you know.
That is something I don't do. I don't do income tax.
You don't, yeah, that's probably good you don't. you
No,
know,
I do not do income tax at all.
Okay. Okay. And of course, you also oversee our reception area down front there.
Yes,
too.
I do.
Yes, and we have the lovely Carol Perello there. And I'll tell you, there's a person there that you talk about. I'm trying to think how the title I had. The Ambassador of First Impressions. And Carol does an excellent job at that. Any situation, you know, somebody comes in, needs directions on what office to see or may have a problem or something, many times she can help them right there or have them go to the right department to get that issue taken care of.
That's right.
And just like with Judy, and the same thing goes for Carol, whenever they talk about retirement, they haven't done it yet, but we're going to chain them to their desk so that they don't, because we really need these people at the Township building. And so it's that first impression that comes when somebody walks into the Township building. We hope that is always a positive, because it is a positive experience, that person. That's the front desk. They make or break that person's visit when they come to the Township building, and it's very important. I know a few years ago when I was in college, in my management class, I was talking, one of the things we had to do about was the influence of the front desk, how important that is. And Carol was my topic, and I told Carol about it, that I'm writing a paper about you, about the importance of what it takes to have the right person at the front desk. And it works out very well.
It does.
So she's part of your overseeing. And so is there anything else as we're getting to the end of our program here that you need to or want to talk about? I think we've talked about
I think we pretty much touched base on the different programs. There are, of course, so many more. I've got, I have voter registration. I have absentee ballots applications in my office. I have got change of address forms, LIHEAP applications for heating assistance. There's just so much involved. I'm going to, on the screen, like a listing of all the different forms or help that I have available.
That's correct.
In the office. One thing I do want to say very quickly is, John's over here saying, oh, Judy does this, Judy does that, and that's all fine and dandy, but it's a team effort.
It is, always is. That's true, yes.
I am so lucky to be able to have the supervisors that I have that allow me to bring these programs to you. And also, the team that I have in place out at Millfair, my Millfair staff, those guys are great. And girl, I have Elena, who is the intake clerk.
Yes.
And so they do an absolute wonderful job out there, my Millfair staff. Recycling, couldn't do it without Jessica James Stutzman. Jessica is, she is just the base of your recycling program. She's always thinking of new ways, new directions to grow the program. The years that she's been here, I believe it's been 3 years, I have just seen her go from here to here, and this girl will continue growing.
Oh yes, she is. She's a very integral part of our township.
And Carol Perillo, the receptionist, she makes it so easy when you say I oversee the reception area. I don't have to do anything.
Yeah,
She's
that's
the
pretty
best.
much it takes care of itself there on that.
So it's a team effort.
Yes, and that's the way we are at the Township. And I think the first floor
Nobody works for anybody. We all work
as
together.
A team.
We are a team, and I'm very proud to be a part of the team.
Yes.
And I'm always looking for more programs and more things for you guys to shake your head at and say, oh, Judy, what do you get us into?
Yes.
I have heard those words.
Whoa, yeah, sometimes, but when we find out after you've explained it to us what it's all about, so, oh, wow, that makes good sense right there. So, so that's why we always give the approval on that there, because we know that if it's something you feel worth bringing up to us or talking about it, then we really should do it. We take the advice of our trusted advisors.
I usually do my homework on stuff.
Yes, oh yes, we know that. Because you are also a taxpayer here in Millcreek Township.
Exactly.
And none of us want to see any money being wasted anyway for programs that have no benefit. So anything that you bring to us, it always has a good public benefit.
Well, thank you.
So anything else as we're getting to our final minute or two of the
No, I just want to say I'm really surprised that I didn't forget and start asking you questions.
Yes.
Because I thought that would happen. Oh, John Grow, tell us a little bit about what you do.
Well,
Viewers, anything that we've talked about here, I just want to remind you, if you want a little more information, please feel free to give my office a phone call.
Yes.
Stop in and see me.
Right.
We can go over things and see if you would be eligible for any of the programs out there.
Right, and now I'm just very happy that first of all that I have the honor of interviewing you in all of this. I mean, I've known what you have done here at the Township and everything that you oversee, and so now I think the public gets a little better understanding. They see you on the TV programs interviewing people, and there's a lot more to what you do other than that. As I said, that's less than 10%.
Then they wonder, why is she at Millfair?
Yeah, why is she at Millfair?
Yeah, helping out out here and doing this. And,
Right.
Yeah.
So she's out there in the public and doing a very good job of representing Millcreek Township with our programs and the services that we provide as a township government. So I think we'll just wrap it up with that right there. And Judy, I thank you for being on this program. This is just so neat.
It was my pleasure, John. It was.
Okay. Well, thank you, folks. And as Judy said, if you have any questions or anything, feel free to give her a call. The phone number at the Township Building is 833-1111. Her email address is jzelina@millcreektownship.com. Thank you for watching the show.
You're watching the Millcreek Government Channel, powered by WQLN Public Media.